I've spent most of my life thinking I needed to figure it out. My calling, my lane, the one thing I was supposed to do well enough that everything else would finally make sense. But the older I get, the more I realize something unexpected. Clarity didn't come from narrowing my life. It came from paying attention. If you're creative, restless, faith-driven, and your mind doesn't move in straight lines, this is for you. I live with a constant tension. I love God deeply. I'm highly creative. I care about people. And my brain doesn't do linear very well. I've tried to force myself into clean systems, one focus, one title, one clear direction. And every time I did, something in me shrank. Not because discipline is bad, but because forced simplicity can become disobedience when God wired you wide. Some people are called to go deep in one field. Others are called to connect fields. And I spent years trying to be the first when God kept nudging me toward the second. We love formulas, 5 steps to purpose, one calling for your whole life, one assignment that explains everything. But Scripture doesn't actually work that way. David was a shepherd and a musician and a warrior and a king. Paul was a tent maker and a theologian and a missionary. Jesus spent 30 years mostly unseen and 3 years changing the world. Purpose wasn't handed to them fully formed. It emerged through obedience in motion. I don't talk about this a lot, but my mind doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in patterns, in connections, in ideas that won't leave me alone. For a long time, I thought that had made me unreliable, but I'm learning something. It doesn't make me scattered, it makes me attentive. Some people build systems, others notice what's missing inside of them. I feel tension, I hear stories that need words, I see connections before I can explain them. It's not a flaw, it's a form of stewardship. But here's what changed everything for me. I stopped asking, what am I supposed to do forever? And started asking, what is God inviting me into right now? Calling isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle. It shows up as restlessness, curiosity, compassion you can't shake, a burden that keeps returning. When you stop forcing a calling, you start noticing patterns. And those patterns tell the truth. So let me tell you what this space is. This isn't hustle content. It's not hot takes, and it's not me pretending I have everything figured out. This is a place for worship songs from real seasons, original thoughts that feel more like devotions, stories meant to steady people, not impress them, encouragement for people who feel behind but aren't. If you're building, healing, believing, doubting, creating, or starting over, you belong here. I don't know exactly where this leads, but I know what I'm committed to. Being honest, being faithful, making things that help people breathe again. If you're wired wide and you feel pressure to pick one thing, if you're trying to listen instead of force, walk with me for a bit. We'll figure it out together.